Today I would like to explain to you guys why Tesla stock is the perfect investment for me, not you. Maybe it's good for you, maybe it's terrible for you. We'll get to that in more detail soon. But why I'm so comfortable and sleep so well at night today, with more than 90% of my net worth tied up in a single stock, Tesla. And the only reason my Tesla stock, which is the only stock I own, isn't 100% of my net worth, is because between 2010 and 2015, I purchased and still hold on to some real estate. This goes against all of the so-called investing wisdom and would surely send every financial advisor hearing this running for the hills. So why am I so comfortable doing what's apparently the worst possible thing anyone could do when it comes to investing? Why over the last decade has all my spare cash, every spare cent, gone into Tesla stock? Why didn't I diversify? Why am I so heavily concentrated, completely, utterly, entirely concentrated in a single company? That's what I'm going to answer in this video. The most important point I need to share to explain why Tesla stock is the perfect investment for me. Again, not you. I mean, you know you better than I do, and you've got your own brain, so I'm sure you can figure out whether it's a great investment for you, a terrible one, or somewhere in between. But for me, I'm a very long-term investor. I think in decades. I mentioned earlier, the only reason I'm not 100% entirely concentrated in Tesla stock is because 2010, 13, 14, 15, I'm buying real estate, still holding it. 15 years. And as I record this today, I see Tesla stock as a 30 plus year investment. What I mean by that is 3 decades or more of sustained compounding growth in terms of revenue and profitability. And no, that's not their electric vehicle business. Tesla's currently pursuing and likely to dominate autonomy at scale. That's not going to happen instantly, although it will be pretty quick. That itself is a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. But that 30-year timeline is really on the back of the Optimus humanoid robot. Tesla now have publicly stated goals of scaling production on the Optimus humanoid robot to tens of millions of units per year, ultimately hundreds of millions of units per year, possibly even 1 billion units a year. That's not likely to happen over a decade or even 2. Of course, if I was currently 107 years old, I might be considering my investment time horizon of 30 years as a little bit ambitious, but I will definitely be around 3 decades from now, and I'm investing accordingly. A lot can happen in 3 decades with new technology, innovation, productivity gains, improvements in computation, and now artificial intelligence. I'd like to remind you guys what can happen over multiple decades when technology, innovation, disruption is underway. Huge improvements in price, performance. Sound familiar? Shout out to the AI revolution underway now. A few decades ago, it was computers and then the internet. Amazon stock, company IPOs 28 years ago, almost 3 decades. Stock up over 250,000% since. And no, that was not on the back of selling books. Nvidia IPOs 2 years later, 1999, 26 years old as a publicly traded company. Stock up 450,000% since. And you might think, oh, well, it only really started going vertical from 2022, right? And sure, it's up 1,384% since that point in time. But prior to that, the stock did a 30,000 times. And in fact, if we wind back from that 2021-22 crash, there was a point where it was up 75,000% in that time. Microsoft, 39 years old as a publicly traded company. Stock up 485,000%. Apple, a 40-year-old company. Stock up over 300,000%. And you might notice a trend. The shape of these stock prices over time, near identical. This is what it looks like when a company benefits enormously from massive disruption and has a strong hand in bringing products and technology to market in enormously disruptive, new, innovative industries. I think it's reasonable to say there's probably only a few people on the planet who've spent more time thinking about Tesla from an investment point of view. There may be 0 people on the planet who've spent more time creating content about Tesla. Many thousands of videos over the last 6 years on this one fucking company. Now, the only reason I'm telling you that is to add context to the following statement. I am extremely confident that Tesla will absolutely dominate autonomy and take the lion's share of the profits in the world's most important markets from an investor's point of view, which is the markets where people can afford to pay a reasonable amount per mile. They've got a general solution no one else does. They've already got scale no one else does. They can produce vehicles faster than any other company on the planet. Oh, and by the way, they're the only company on the planet currently profitably producing electric vehicles and selling them to consumers. I know that was a mouthful. I've said that before. Now, if you happen to be new to the channel, go watch one of my previous videos. I say the exact same shit every single day. I've explained my thesis around autonomy in much greater detail. But the short story is I'm extremely confident Tesla's won this. They're going to dominate. Just as Amazon has won online commerce, Tesla has won autonomy. I'm equally as confident Tesla will dominate humanoid robots. Much like autonomy, where they're the only company with all of the necessary ingredients. The massive fleet, the data, the general solution, existing scale, manufacturing capabilities. They're the only company with the necessary ingredients to mass produce extremely compelling, capable, dexterous, intelligent, reasonably priced humanoid robots. And that's what they intend on doing. No other company has solved real-world AI, vision, seeing, perceiving, planning and acting. Tesla did this via millions of vehicles in a global fleet, collecting data, training, getting better, and essentially transplanted that brain into the humanoid robot. Good luck replicating that if you're not Tesla. Now, I could absolutely be wrong, but I find that exceedingly unlikely. As I said, I'm extremely confident. It doesn't mean I'm right. I'm just telling you guys why Tesla is the perfect investment for me. And being extremely confident, having thought about this company more than most people on the planet from every possible angle, I've built a level of confidence and conviction that helps me sleep very well at night, being so heavily concentrated in this single company. On that note, I'd like to discuss the sleep at night factor. Shout out to a mentor of mine, Rolf, for bringing this concept to light when I was in my 20s. Everyone has a different sleep at night factor when it comes to investing. There are people on the planet, in fact, probably the majority, who were they completely concentrated in a single company, a company whose stock can be very volatile over a short-term basis, would have a terrible, terrible time sleeping well at night. In that situation, Tesla would be a very poor investment for them, at least being as concentrated in Tesla as I am. Because if it's affecting their ability to sleep well at night, clearly that's not a good sign. If I didn't have this level of confidence and conviction in the company, their long-term future, even the worst-case downside still being more than acceptable, there's no way I'd be so heavily concentrated in a single company. But I sleep like a baby being all in on Tesla stock. The confidence doesn't just come from the technology. As I said, I've thought about this company from every possible angle you can imagine. We now need to talk about Elon Musk, the leader of Tesla. Elon Musk has a multiple decade-long track record of setting extremely audacious, dare I say impossible goals and motivating teams of the world's biggest brains to achieve these goals. Not just to achieve them, but to achieve them in staggeringly quick timelines, unbelievably efficiently. A recent example, it took Blue Origin, founded before SpaceX and essentially with unlimited funding by Jeff Bezos, an entire decade, 10 years, to successfully do what SpaceX did in 2015, which was to land an orbital class booster for the first time. 10 fucking years. Musk's ability to lead, motivate, recruit the world's best and brightest gigabrains to do impossible things over and over and over adds another layer, an important layer, to my confidence in Tesla's ability to achieve their long-term goals, including scaling their fleet of robotaxis and the final product, the Optimus humanoid robot. It's not just Elon Musk's leadership, although that is a huge factor. But at this point in time, even if he went on a 10-year holiday, Tesla would be fine. It'd probably be a lot slower and wouldn't quite reach the same heights. But anyone wants an example of what happens when a true innovator and leader is no longer at a company, just look at what Apple's done. Tim Cook is a great operator, a terrible innovator, and Apple's still printing money based on the incredible foundation built by Steve Jobs. But the DNA of the company is so critically important as well. Tesla is one of the most lean and resourceful companies on earth, even with sustained efforts to sabotage the company from within, to destroy and rewrite its genetic code, to change the DNA of Tesla. If Musk left, it'd take a decade to toxify the DNA of the company and change it so much that this statement would no longer be true. The amount of inertia and momentum forged by Tesla's unique DNA as a company, this is another factor that really gives me confidence in the company's long-term future. It's not just the leader, Elon Musk, nor is it the DNA of the company, but Tesla has such a clear, compelling, and inspiring North Star to direct everyone working at the company over the next handful of decades. Their current mission, the ultimate mission, is to create sustainable abundance for all. What could be more epic and inspiring than that? Earlier in this video, I featured Apple stock, Microsoft, two companies that on the back of massive improvements in price performance of computers, then the revolution with the internet, software, apps, mobile devices, benefited enormously from massive disruption and technological improvement. But you ain't seen nothing yet. Artificial intelligence will far and away be the biggest innovation, disruption, and change in the history of humanity. That's not hyperbole. AI will inevitably reach human-level intelligence, not just in a narrow domain. We've already seen some super autistic savant-like abilities. I mean, across the board, brilliant, matching human-level intelligence on everything. But that's not where it ends. AI will continue to improve. First meeting then exceeding, then vastly exceeding human level capability with no end in sight. And Tesla is the leader in real-world AI with autonomy. Robotaxis, autonomy at scale, it's got to be a massive multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. Tesla's won it. I've said it before. Go watch some old videos if you want to hear the full thesis. But the humanoid robot is on a whole other fucking level. Embodied AI, able to move, manipulate objects in the real world, increasingly intelligent, increasingly capable. Tesla ain't fucking around. Musk generally believes and intends on producing tens of millions, hundreds of millions, if not a billion plus humanoid robots per year. And that's why I'm now looking at Tesla with a 30 plus year investment horizon. And when I look out over the next 30 years, even the worst case scenario looks incredible to me. As I said earlier, I have an extremely high level of confidence that Tesla is going to dominate autonomy. They're going to crush it with the humanoid robots. And as a result, I sleep like a baby at night. And that's why Tesla stock is the perfect investment for me. Another factor that gives me enormous confidence in Tesla over the long term is reality. The reality is, as I record this today, the list of companies who currently produce electric vehicles at scale and make money selling them to consumers, which is kind of necessary if you want a sustainable business, has one name on it: Tesla. Do you think that the companies today are losing money trying to mass produce and sell electric vehicles to consumers? Do you think these companies want to be losing money selling their vehicles to consumers? Do you think these companies want to be burning billions of dollars per year, if not per quarter, selling electric vehicles to consumers? Do you think that this is a decision that they made? Oh yeah, let's lose money on our vehicles instead of making them profitably at scale like Tesla does. Do you think that they want to do this? No. Problem is, they have not yet been able to figure out how to mass produce compelling, profitable electric vehicles and sell them on the same fucking planet as Tesla. This is important. Tesla has demonstrated an ability to do things that no other company on the planet can do. This is important. You remember Apple had an electric vehicle project. They invested who knows how many billions, if not tens of billions of dollars over a decade or so, and then pulled the plug, gave up, quit. Probably saw what Tesla was doing, went, you know what, fuck it. We're never going to catch up. Apple, unlimited money. Nah, we give up. Not worth it. This actually matters. So today, it's fair to say that the onus is now on people who claim that Tesla won't absolutely dominate autonomy. The onus is on these people to explain how in the flying fuck will other companies today, most likely in an industry today, electric vehicles and vehicles in general, that can't even make money selling electric vehicles trying to compete with Tesla, how the fuck are these companies going to solve autonomy, general autonomy, and rapidly, widely scale? And even if they could magically somehow solve the software problem, good luck. Don't have the data, don't have the fleet, don't have the team, don't have the leadership, don't have shit. Even if they could magically solve that, how the fuck are they going to put profitable robotaxis on roads when they can't produce vehicles even close to the same price performance as Tesla? And even if they could do that, which is also another magic button required, how would they be able to produce them at the rate Tesla will be able to pump these things out? They're already making, call it 1.5, 2 million electric vehicles per year. How would these companies start producing vehicles at a comparable speed to Tesla and deploy them as rapidly? They need to do 3 impossible things just to meet and catch up with where Tesla's already at on autonomy. The onus is on people trying to explain how Tesla's so-called competition is going to do multiple impossible things. Now, being extremely confident does not mean that I'm right. Nothing is guaranteed. But this video wasn't me guaranteeing what's going to happen in the future, but just explaining why Tesla stock is the perfect investment for me. Now, in fairness, I've never been accused of lacking confidence. And that's not just when it comes to investing, but across the board in life in general. But my concentration in Tesla stock is directly in proportion to my level of confidence in the long-term growth prospects, dominance of the company. And here's how I would know if I lacked confidence in my convictions around the company, its long-term future, and its investment prospects. If I was so heavily concentrated in Tesla, but I was having problems sleeping well at night, I felt uncomfortable, that would be a very clear signal to me that I wasn't extremely confident and my investment concentration was not in proportion to my confidence level. In a situation like that, I'd be prone to panicking. I'd freak out at every negative headline in the media. I'd get caught up in the herd mentality, the hive mind, the group think. If Tesla stock was down, I would be concerned that the company was doomed, as opposed to actually looking at the company itself. I would be vulnerable, easily shaken, and likely to make an enormously embarrassing financial decision out of fear and uncertainty, doubt, as opposed to holding strong because of my confidence. If I lacked confidence in my Tesla investment, I'd probably be seeking external validation. What did the so-called experts say? What do the analysts say? What do the people in the finance media say? Do they think Tesla's a good investment? Should I buy? Should I sell? Should I panic? What are they doing? What do they think? I can't draw my own conclusions. I don't have confidence in myself. I need external validation. As I'm recording this, I'm just realizing that all the stuff I'm saying about having confidence in one's investment thesis around Tesla in particular, seeking external validation, approval seeking, am I doing the right thing? That applies 100% to people in real life who just lack confidence in general too. You see that same seeking validation and approval from others, all stemming from a lack of confidence. Just a quick tangent. Roughly 95% of my audience here on YouTube, men. Imagine my shock, men and women are different. And when you ask women who are at least self-aware what trait they find most attractive in men, it's universally confidence. And I believe that among investors, the most attractive trait they should find in their investment thesis is confidence. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that even if you, listening to this right now, in real life, happen to be a bipedal vaginal dehydrator, aka lacking confidence in general, even you, insecure, seeking validation, needing approval of others, even you can develop an extremely high level of confidence, at least when it comes to your investments. And you should. In the past, I've said many times that Tesla stock was the best risk-adjusted opportunity that I was aware of. Always adding the caveat that there's plenty of other opportunities that are likely to have better risk-adjusted returns. It's just I wasn't aware of them. And the reason I've been able to say this repeatedly is back to that level of confidence and conviction. It is possible to reduce the risk of an investment simply by informing oneself, thinking deeply about and analyzing the company, the technology, the industry, the leadership, the corporate structure. What if this happens? What if that happens? Thinking, using your brain. You can de-risk an investment by simply using your brain. That doesn't mean the more you think about and analyze a company, the less risky the investment becomes. But if you think of a company as a big dark room and thinking as having a torch in your hand to shine light in all those dark little corners, with enough thinking, analyzing, you can illuminate the whole fucking room. If it turns out there's no scary monsters hidden away in some of those corners, you can learn that only by shining a light in that direction. But if you haven't taken a look around the room, looked in all the corners, that inherently carries with it a far greater risk because you don't know what you don't know. Now, it's not to say that there isn't a second secret room hidden away that you didn't even know was there and didn't need to go and look in. That's certainly possible too. But the key point there is that it is possible in theory to massively de-risk an investment simply by deeply thinking about and analysing it. There is one important caveat. I just have to say it. The bell curve is real. Some people, despite their best efforts to de-risk an investment by thinking about it, analysing it, thinking about the competition, the technology, where that looks like it's going in the future, upside, downside, the leadership, potential risks, black swan events. It's possible, despite their best efforts, to just be completely wrong. I mean, maybe you know somebody, maybe you've personally thought that you'd really deeply thought about something and got blindsided. In other words, it's possible for one to have a very high level of confidence that is entirely ill-founded. So, in conclusion, and totally not foreshadowing, the reason that Tesla stock is the perfect investment for me, why I sleep so well at night, being all in on Tesla stock, is because I'm extremely confident that in 2055, future Stephen is going to be thanking present Stephen for being all in on Tesla stock. See you in 3 decades, motherfuckers. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has been part of my daily health protocol for almost half a decade. It's packed full of vitamins and minerals and helps me fill in nutritional gaps while supporting energy, digestion, and immune function. It also has prebiotics and probiotics to promote gut health. I take my health very seriously, and so should you. Try AG1 today by visiting drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment and enjoy a free welcome kit with vitamin D3 plus K2 and AG1 travel packs. That's drinkag1.com/SMR.